Brought to you by runtogold.com, the premier source for monetary science applied to geopolitical, international, and economic, financial news and events. Welcome back to the 11th episode of the runtogold.com podcast. The topic today, the derivative illusion. How much is 700 billion in gold? It's a cube, about 38 feet on each side. A four-store house is about 36 feet tall. The Apple Store cube on Fifth Avenue in New York is 32 feet on each side. A $700 billion gold cube would weigh about 30,000 tons. That's 66 million pounds. A 2001 estimate puts all the gold ever mined in human history at about 145,000 tons. So this bailout cost us about 20.6% of all the gold that has ever been taken out of the ground. In other words, we gave away enough tax money for someone to build a 4-floor tall cube of solid gold. Often the assertion is made that there is not enough gold to return to a gold-based monetary system. The counter-argument is that there is just too much paper. The dollar-based monetary system is the largest bubble in the history of the world. Gold has been, is, and will always be the center of the financial universe. In 1971, most people were too gullible and accepted the thinking that the Earth, or US dollar, revolves around the sun, or gold. Today, by luck, I ran into a friend who was the chairman and founder of a respectable bank in Nevada. He is extremely well connected. We spent some time talking shop. He remarked that oil is going to $50 and gold to $500. And in about 2 years, that gold will probably begin performing well. I would not be surprised if both assertions are proven correct over time because of the nature of the deflationary credit contraction, as gold abuts the Treasury bill. Nevertheless, my bullion is not for sale. Why is that? Because the current monetary system is an illusion. The gold market is tiny compared to the Tower of Babel that has been constructed on top of it. The pricing mechanism is completely broken. My friend, who often teases me for being a gold bug, does not understand some basic monetary science and theory. He views gold as a portfolio asset. I view everything else as a portfolio asset. We hold opposite views about what is the center of the financial universe. I launched a calculated rebuttal about credit default swaps vaporizing firms. He revealed his ignorance by responding, "Yes, is there going to be any end?" I responded, "There are 1,400 trillion of derivatives, and central banks use some of them to manipulate the gold price. The great thing about gold is it is either in my hand or not. And $850 billion of it cannot just be created out of thin air." I then briefly explained the future of currency, things like gold money, and how it eliminates counterparty, settlement, credit, payment, and Hertzog risk from the medium of exchange and store of value. This will be highly deflationary. The change of the monetary system is only beginning. Fiat currency and fractional reserve banking are barbarous relics. They will be replaced by a commodity currency with 100% reserves and no counterparty risk. Change always encounters pugnacious opposition from the status quo establishment. However, like the Catholic Church was powerless against the ideas of Copernicus and Galileo, so likewise is the establishment powerless against the ideas of digital commodity currency and money. Most importantly, digital gold will ultimately explode onto the international monetary scene, whether bankers or governments like it or not. However, there are still some ideas that need to be implemented. When the systems are implemented and the time is right, then digital gold will go viral and the illusion will dissipate. My strategy is to acquire gold on a consistent, regular basis with a consistent percentage of proceeds from cash flowing assets. When you own an unencumbered ounce of gold, your wealth is sovereign. Hoard it. Humanity's gold lust has been dormant for nearly a century, and when it awakens, it will be extremely vehement and go viral. Those who own gold know of what I speak. The yellow metal speaks to call out to the inner conscience and resonates with our DNA. The result will be that the pitiful garrets of the central banks will be overrun. But patience. Now is the time to open free digital gold currency accounts and get acquainted with how to use them. You need not even purchase any bullion. Just become familiar with how they function and comfortable with using the services such as national currency accounts. Then you can begin using them as an alternative and eventually a substitute for the current monetary system. Well, that's been it for the 11th episode of the RunToGold.com podcast on the derivative illusion. You've been listening to the RunToGold.com podcast, the premier source for applied monetary science on the web.